All right, guys. Hey, I'm not going to go through that whole video. Welcome. Thank you for being here. And I wanted to do this quick video. I love Ammoland, so I want to say right off the get-go that this is not an attack on Ammoland in any way whatsoever, because I love Ammoland. I love the people of Ammoland. It's just a great site. The Truth About Guns kind of went awkward and got away from their beliefs, but Ammoland is not. This is just about one author who seems to think he's better than everybody else. And I read this story, and it's called "Some Shortcomings of Open Carry," and I just I wanted to leave a comment, and I realized, my gosh, I'm writing a freaking book down here. You know what? Instead, I'm just going to do a video. So before I get into that, I'm gonna preface this video not only with the fact that I'm not here to attack Ammoland for this. Yes, they published this nonsense, but hey, let them have a voice. Gun owners have a voice, and when the people who are speak stupidity, then we need to call that out. And I'm pretty protective of open carry, but I'm also protective of concealed carry. Quite frankly, I don't care. I don't care if you open carry. I don't care if you conceal carry. Just carry, okay? And there's not one that's any better than the other. They both have their pros. They both have their cons. And there are times where one or either is better than the other, and there are times where it doesn't matter. But the self-righteous attitude that this guy has, Dan Reedy, in this story, it just can't stand on a website like Ammoland. And he's taken a lot of heat down in the comments of this story. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start with the comments. Let me get down here, because I left a comment down here, and he responded to me. So here, this was my comment right here. This is perhaps one of the most ignorant, self-righteous posts I've read on Ammoland, and I'm going to do a video about it. Well, the author came down and says, hey, looking forward to seeing what you have to say, and that sources cited in said video, which is interesting. And of course, I responded back to that. I'll give you just as many sources as you did. He provided one link, other than the fact that he's attacking stuff. But so it's kind of interesting that he would comment on that. But here's the video. Here's the link, and the link is in the description down below. But some shortcomings of open carry. Now, I want to. This is what you'll see if you go there right now. This is the image that's up there now. Now, I think Dan took a lot of heat. He took a lot of heat because he changed it. Now, if you go back to when this was originally published, and I pulled this up, this is the original picture that he had up there. All right. And before even reading the post, I was like, what kind of douchebag pro-gun person does this? This is left-wing, liberal, anti-gun, moms demand action bullshit right here. That's what this is. This is not a pro-gun, pro-freedom, pro-2A patriot putting a picture like this up. And I think he got called out on it so much in the comments that he went and updated, because this is what you've got now. Now, it's still ignorant. It's still stupid and nonsense. But at least he had the good sense to change a little bit of it. And even though his writing is still a bunch of trope and nonsense in this article, but I wanted to show you, this is what the article looked like originally. Mom, come pick me up. Applebee's infringing on my rights. Well, regardless of whether you think people should be open carrying anything into an Applebee's is kind of beside the point. If you support freedom, why are you making fun of the fact that Applebee's is potentially infringing on rights? No pro-freedom patriot is going to make fun of a man who's peacefully and legally exercising his right to carry wherever he can legally and peacefully exercise his right. You either believe in freedom or you don't. But this guy's here making fun of it. He's taking a page right out of the leftist manual here, making fun of people because of how they choose to carry. And I know what he's talking about. And the reason that I probably took this somewhat more personal is because, back in 2013 and 14, in part of 2015 when we here in open carry Texas and here in Texas were fighting to get open carry passed. We carried our AR-15s everywhere. We did that. We carried them into Applebee's. We carried them into Chili's. We carried them into Starbucks. We carried them into Walmart. We carried them into Target. And we did that because we were making a point. And this is what Dan doesn't seem to understand. See, Dan is more concerned about, oh, look at me. I know what's best for the gun community, instead of understanding, well, heck, why were people carrying into Applebee's? Well, the reason we were doing that is because we were trying to get open carry of handguns passed, and we were trying to show the absurdity of the fact that in Texas, I can carry an AR-15, an AK-47, a shotgun, any long arm, anywhere I want. But if you could see even the buttstock or the magazine of my pistol, it was a crime. You couldn't see or open carry a pistol, but you could open carry a rifle. So there was a purpose behind that. And, Dan here wants to make fun of it. He wants to make fun of the fact that we had to fight our asses off in order to get open carry of handguns passed in Texas when easily 44 other states already allowed it. 44 states had allowed open carry before Texas did. So yeah, we made a point to carry those guns in there. So look, I mean, you don't even have to read the article. You can already see the guy's a douchebag for using this as his header picture on his story. Now let's get into what he actually says here. And he calls this some shortcomings of open carry. He doesn't even provide shortcomings. He provides a bunch of opinion commentary nonsense. He says, while I was at a Petco, a man walked in. He was quite the sight to see. He was in his late 50s to early 60s, in decent shape. He wore a green Condor BDU pants, bloused in his black 511 tactical boots, and a black 2A Moto tee was tucked into his BDU pants. Okay. On his hip was an openly carried Springfield XDS with extended magazine, jammed into a Serpa holster. He was buying some dog food. Now, I want to show you something, because I have two everyday carry guns. My normal, almost every single day open carry gun is my 1911. Okay, it's my Sig Sauer Emperor Scorpion 1911. I actually have two of those because I love it so much. I open carry them pretty much every day. But when I'm not doing that, so I'm kind of weird. I have this weird quirk about me that I need at least 7 belt loops. Or at least I want. When I buy pants, I make sure that's got at least 7 belt loops. And unfortunately, they don't make jeans that way anymore. Jeans these days, they have essentially 5 belt loops. And that's just, I don't like it because the belt, it causes the belt to, ride up or sag down because there's not as many belt loops holding the belt up. And I don't like the feeling of the belt against my skin. So I generally wear 511 pants, okay? Or I wear Black Hawk. Some of them are Black Hawk. Most of the pants that I own are 511. And then I've got a few others but they're generally all tactile. Anytime you see me, you're probably going to see me in 511s. That's just what I wear 95% of the time. And the main reason for it is because I can carry my business cards. There's a pocket for my business cards. There's a pocket for my knife. There's a pocket for my keys. There's, there's plenty of pockets there. And it's got 7 belt loops. Honestly, that's the main reason I even started buying 511 pants, was because of the belt loops. I know that sounds weird, sounds awkward, but every now and then, I feel like I feel like wearing jeans. Today, I'm wearing jeans. But let me go backwards. When I'm wearing my 511, I usually wear a holster that is woven into the belt. Okay, it's not a clip-on. It's not a paddle holster. It's a leather holster that goes through the belt, so you can't take the holster off without removing the belt. And that's why I need, or like, at least 7 belt loops. But sometimes I wear jeans. Like today, I'm wearing jeans. And then I wear oh my gosh, this might be a Serpa holster. I don't know. But what have I got? I've got my XD. And I wear a paddle holster when I'm wearing my jeans, because that way I don't have to worry about my belt dipping or, because there's not enough belt loops. So I wear my second EDC when I'm not wearing my 1911. Anytime I'm wearing jeans, is I use my XD40. I love it. I've got 3 Springfield XD series firearms. They are all great firearms. I love them. Okay. Oh, and this has also got an extended magazine on it. I mean, it's not super extended. I think it's like 3 extra rounds. Jammed into a. So here he is making fun of a guy wearing BDU pants, 511 tactical boots. So what? Tucked into BDU pants, and he's open carrying a Springfield XDS. So he comes down here and he says later, bad gun, bad holster, bad blah, 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 blah. Number one, it's not a bad gun. I've had this XD40. This is actually the first pistol, non-22 caliber pistol that I ever bought. I've had it for about 15 years. Never had a single issue with my XD, any of my XD guns. I even just bought a Hellcat as my backup to replace my 380. So I just bought a Hellcat. Now here's what drives me nuts. Dan doesn't bother to ask why or even care. And by the way, it's none of Dan's business what this guy's wearing. Who gives a shit? Okay, that's his response. That's his prerogative. So what? Dan is now the two-way wardrobe police. Is that what he's trying to say? Oh, he shouldn't be wearing that. He doesn't know. Dan has no idea before this guy came in to buy dog food what that guy was doing. Was he out hunting? Did he just get off the range? Not that any of that kind of, yeah, Dan does sound kind of gay. Not that it matters, but sometimes people dress a certain way for a reason. It's none of Dan's business, but just because you go into a dog or to a pet store and you're dressed tactically, regardless of how you're dressed, really, Dan didn't bother to even try and want. He just goes into his fact that he's got a bad outfit on. I mean, Dan should go, instead of writing for Ammoland, maybe he needs to go work, write for Vanity Fair. He'd probably fit in a little bit better there. Maybe Teen Vogue is where Dan needs to start writing. If he's going to start critiquing bad outfits, I think Dan needs to start, writing for those places where he'd probably fit in a little bit better. Bad gun, bad holster. Look, I have no problems with my Serpa holster. I know people have had problems with Serpa holsters. But here's the thing. I like Serpa holsters. I have different kinds of holsters. I generally use a leather holster. I like the leather better. But like today, whenever I wear a paddle holster, it's usually a Black Hawk or Serpa type holster. Nothing wrong with that. Now, would I take a Serpa holster into combat? Probably not, but I don't plan on doing combat every day when I'm open carrying or even concealed carrying. There's nothing wrong with carrying a Serpa holster at all. Dan seems to think so. And then he talks about the fact that he dives his head into his smartphone. Now, I get it. You need to be, whenever you're carrying, whether you're carrying concealed or openly, you need to always kind of be aware of your surroundings. Even if you're not carrying, you kind of need to be aware of your surroundings. The problem isn't that he was open carrying and keeping his face in his smartphone. First of all, why is Dan following this guy that way? I mean, Dan seems to have kind of a hard-on for this guy that he saw coming in there. I don't know if he's jealous or what. Then he follows him out to his car, pays attention to what kind of car he's driving. It's just, anyway. All right, so then we go down here. He says, open carry is legal in my city. I don't know where his city is. Open carry is your right in much of the country. See, this is where he's wrong. Open carry is your right in all of this country. 100% of it is your right to open carry. Now, unfortunately, in some places, some states, some cities, that right that you have in the entire country is infringed upon by laws that violate the Second Amendment. So you have that right to carry, open carry in DC. You have that right to open carry in Florida, in South Carolina, in California, in Illinois, in New York. Those are the only places you can't open carry. legally, but you're going to probably get arrested for it. You know, the thugs in blue who don't care about rights but only doing what they're told will come in and get you for it. So then you get to this right here. Open carry is often a sign of incompetence. Hey, Digitus, it depends on, if you can't see the live chat, some people, I'm multi-broadcast, just for everybody actually, I'm multi-broadcasting this on both my CJ Grisham channel and the Open Carry Texas channel. If you're not seeing anyone live chatting, they're probably on the other channel. So if you're watching this on Open Carry Texas, go to my CJ Grisham. If you're watching it on CJ Grisham, you're not seeing anything, go to Open Carry Texas. One of those two is where most of the people are, because there are people chatting out there. Open carry is often a sign of incompetence. This is yet another example of Dan being a holier than thou, self-righteous douchebag. Number one, there are several reasons people open carry. For me personally, I do it for two reasons. One is for advocacy for the Second Amendment, because I want people to see what a good guy with a gun looks like. I want people to stop being afraid. And we're going to get into this a little bit later because he even mentions this a little bit later. But I want people to stop being afraid that just because they see a gun, that they think somebody's going to get shot. I want them to see a gun and see nothing happening at all. That's my first reason. And that's really kind of my primary reason that I personally open carry. Most of the time. I don't always open carry, but most of the time when I open carry, it's for that reason, because I want people to see what a good guy with a gun looks like. The second reason that I open carry is because concealed carry for me is just uncomfortable. For me, I've tried different, oh, but CJ, you just don't have the right holster. Sorry. I don't like to wear pants that I have to buy bigger just because it's uncomfortable to conceal carry. Yes, I know you can. I don't do appendix carry. I don't do lower back carry. I don't do any of that stuff. The way that I carry, it is just not comfortable for me to conceal carry most of the time. So the way I compensate for that is I usually get a bigger size t-shirt so that if I have to conceal my firearm, I just put my t-shirt over it. And I don't have to worry about printing or, accidentally, the shirt rising up. If I got a bigger shirt, I'm usually good. But to say it's a sign of incompetence, some people, they want to open carry because maybe they're, for example, when I start going to court and I start doing my legal stuff and I'm wearing a suit in this 105-degree weather, if I want to take my jacket off because I've got a concealed gun under my coat, I'm suddenly incompetent because you can see my gun? Open carry is not often a sign of incompetence. That is just the dumbest statement. And again, nothing here is qualified. Nothing that he says in this entire piece is qualified. So you can't find, just go to youtube.com/opencarrytexas. That's where youtube.com/opencarrytexas should be there. I almost exclusively advise people against the practice. I don't care what you advise people of. I've never seen anyone publicly open carry with good equipment. It doesn't matter what you've seen. And this is a subjective opinion right here. The guy's an Air Force veteran who has taken a bunch of classes. Woo! I took a bunch of classes. I know better than everybody else. Nor with any serious amount of awareness or training. I guarantee you 100%. 100%, because he's talking about this guy at Petco that was open carrying. Do you think Dan went up to him and said, "Hey, buddy, why did you just get back from the range? Did you go hunting? Now you got to buy some dog food on the way home." No, I bet you didn't do that. I bet he didn't go up and say, "Hey, dude, how much training you got? What have you done? Like, what kind of programs have you been through? Are you in the military? Blah, blah, blah." But yet here he is ignorantly talking about, or should I say incompetently talking about, other people's training. He's saying this because it comes from a position of self-righteousness. I am better than everyone out there that open carries. And by the way, because I've gone through, and this will come in later, I've gone through all this training with, I'm going to name drop some people I've trained with. So I'm much better than you are. And so I just assume that no one else has the kind of training that I do. That's what a Fudd, butter, douchebag, self-righteous moron would say. Now, am I being a little personal about this? Yes, because he's attacking my people. He's essentially attacking my organization. He's attacking my friends. He's attacking my followers by calling each of you incompetent, by saying that each of you are unaware of your surroundings, by saying that each of you are untrained, or at least not as well trained as, oh, Dan Reedy here. Let's go on. Time and time again, it's been proven that open carry does not deter threats. Where? And this is what's funny here. Time and time again, it's been proven that open carry does not deter threats. You know, down here in the comments, when I said I was going to do a video, Dan says he's looking forward to my sources. Where's his sources? Now, I'll get to a little bit about probably what he's going to claim are his sources. But I want to tell you something. I can prove that open carry does deter threats because I open carry every single day and I've never been targeted. There you go. There's your proof. How many of you out there, while open carrying, have had a crime committed while you were there? Well, there you go. There's the proof. Open carry deters threats. There you go. What more do you need? It does not make you a good ambassador for our rights. Okay, what? Again, no links, no sources, just Dan's opinion about who makes a good ambassador. A good ambassador is someone like me who I agree with, who does things the way I do. And then he says it doesn't give you an edge in a fight. Oh, yes, it does. And this is subjective. You can't even subjectively say that open carry doesn't give you an edge in a fight. Because if you've got a concealed carry firearm, regardless of where it's at, you've got to take 2 steps to access that firearm. The first thing you got to do is uncover that firearm. You see the videos. You know, when you do the training, the concealed carry training, you pick up your shirt and then you draw your weapon. Well, guess what? In open carry, you don't have to pick up your shirt. That's a nanosecond or 2 that gives you an edge. All right? And then he's going to come back and say, as a matter of fact, it would really be nice. Dan, I don't know if you're out there, if you're in the chat or not. I would love to bring you on and we can debate this. Actually, hell, we can do a live debate anyway on this whole topic. I have no problem. Live. I said live, not recorded, live. That way, neither of us can be accused of editing the other one out. Does not give you an edge in a fight. I didn't realize that that was the criteria for carrying a firearm, was what gives you an edge. Open carry doesn't deter people from attacking cops. You know what? Here's the thing. Actually, it does. You know, cops, almost, and you can, this is objective as well. Almost every time a police officer is attacked, now there are exceptions to this, as there are for everything. But almost every time a police officer is attacked, it's because he is engaging with a criminal or another person that attacks him. But people don't just generally, obviously in places like New York and Chicago, or, you know, there are stories where this happens, but generally people don't go up and just fuck with police. And the reason they don't is because they know the police are armed. Now, does it have anything to do with open carry versus concealed carry? No. But if the criminal knows that you're armed, he's less likely to mess with you. Why? Because now, it's like Heinlein said, when you've got an armed person, you're more likely to be friendly because you don't want to put your life on the line. You don't want to have to back up your words with your life. And so open carry does deter attacks on cops. Except those attacks when the cops are engaging with the criminal and the criminal is acting not because the guy's open carrying. That's not a deterrent because he doesn't want to go to jail. But you don't see a lot of, and there are exceptions, and he talks about these a little bit later, or at least he provides a link. But generally, people who are open carrying aren't targeted. And the reason for that is somebody's not going to go after your wallet. Somebody's not going to go after your car if they know that you've got a gun and you're willing to defend yourself. Because you know what? That $30 in your wallet, or maybe that $100 in your wallet, is not worth getting shot at and getting killed or horribly wounded. Then he talks about training again and blah, 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 and retention holsters. Yes, you should have some sort of retention holster. I make sure that, and this is good advice for anybody, when you open carry, regardless of what kind of holster you carry. Again, today I'm wearing my Blackhawk holster. It's a retention holster. I can be a little less aware, even though I'm always aware of my surroundings. I can be a little less aware um, when I'm carrying this gun because I know that it's going to be difficult to get it out of its holster. Versus when I have my leather holster, which is just a retention holster, um, and you've got to pull it out at a certain angle or else it won't come out. But when I have a holster that I know it's easier to get the gun out of, if someone wanted to, I'm going to be a lot more aware of my surroundings because I know that I don't have as much control over the handgun as I normally do. That's an individual choice. That's an individual. Not everybody doesn't need to go around carrying a level 59 holster uh, everywhere they go because it's just not necessary. Most people are not going to screw with you. Most criminals are not going to screw with you just because they see the gun. Even if they see the outline of the gun, they're not going to screw with you. All right. Moving on past this. Your concealed carry class, been shooting all my life, or an enlistment as an 11 Bravo, blah, 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 doesn't guarantee your effectiveness. But apparently being an Air Force veteran does, because that's one of the things that he says in his bio there is that he's an Air Force veteran. And we all know the crack shots that the Air Force people are. Do you have the skills and equipment necessary to fight back against someone trying to take your openly carry firearm? Well, the same question goes with your concealed carry firearm. And I'm going to get into this a little bit later as well. I'm going to get in. Do you have the skills? If you are carrying a firearm, and this is the lesson that Dan seems to miss. He had a perfect opportunity here to push good training. He had a perfect opportunity to push good responsibility. He had a great opportunity to push individual awareness when you are carrying a firearm. But instead of doing all of that, Dan decided to attack open carriers. And he decided to cast, there we go, 0311. And he decided to cast labels on people who open carry ignorantly, instead of just taking the time to write a piece about the importance of self-awareness, about awareness of your surroundings, proper retention, proper control, and proper training. He missed all of that. Now, this should have been the title of his entire post. And I wouldn't be sitting here doing a video about this because this is important. Do you have the skills? Well, how do you get those skills? Here's how you get those skills. Open carry presents issues outside the gunfight. And this is where he gets stupid. This is where he completely loses a lot of people. Well, he lost me just with, again, that first image at the very top of the thing. Now you're alerting everyone to the presence of your firearm. You are damn right. I want to, this is a third reason, although it's a very, 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 very minor reason that I open carry. I told you the two reasons I open carry. It's for awareness and comfort. Awareness and comfort. That's it. Awareness and comfort. I guess as a subcategory of awareness, although I don't do it for the criminals, I do it for the general public because he's going to talk about this in a second. But I want the bad guy to know that I've got a gun so he doesn't mess with me. You are less likely to get, look, the reason that the United States and several other countries have nuclear weapons is so they don't have to use them. And the reason they tell other countries that they've got nuclear weapons is so they don't have to use them. Because I'm not going to get attacked as a country if the guy that attacks me knows I've got a nuclear weapon that I'll drop on his Hiroshima. That's the reason that Russia isn't coming for Alaska. They're talking about it. But that's the reason Russia will never come for Alaska, because they know that the United States has guns. Alaskans alone can defeat the Russian army, as many armed Alaskans as there are. But then you've also got to deal with those of us Texas patriots who are going to run up to Alaska and join that fight, should they take so much as one leaf from one bush in Alaska. But yes, I'm alerting everyone to the presence of my firearm. I want the public to know that I've got one so that they know what a good guy with a gun looks like. And I want the bad guy to know I've got a gun so that if he tries to fuck with me in any way whatsoever, he's going to get a bullet in his chest. I want that. Okay. And if open carry, going back up here really quick, if open carry, where was it? If open carry doesn't give you an edge in a fight, why do cops open carry? Why? I mean, if it doesn't give you an edge, don't you think the police officers want an edge in a fight? Because he's talking about cops who are trained. So if it doesn't give you an edge, why don't cops just conceal carry? If conceal carry gives you an edge, there you go. Why doesn't the military conceal carry? If it gives you an edge, I mean, isn't the point of the military to be the superior fighting force on the battlefield? And to be the superior fighting force, don't you want to have every edge possible? So hell, let's conceal carry. Let's get our cops and our military. I mean, look, Mr. Air Force veteran, you should know this better than anybody. Why aren't troops conceal carrying? I mean, we want them to have the edge, right? So anyway, I want everyone to know about the presence of a firearm. And then he says here, threat or not. I've already explained that. I want the good guys to know this is what I want the normal people to know. This is what a good guy with a gun looks like. And then I want the bad guys to know I'm not someone you want to mess with because I will defend myself. I have the tools to defend myself. And you know what? That guy's got to think in his head, well, okay, the guy's got a gun, but is he trained? And is that a risk? Every criminal takes a risk. It's a risk-benefit analysis. Do I want to take a risk? There's that guy over there with a gun, and there's that guy over there that I don't think he has a gun. I'm going to target that guy. Guess what? That's the risk that he just lowered his risk by going after someone he assumes is not armed, whether he's right or not. Whether the guy's concealed carrying or not, it doesn't matter. Now that guy is getting targeted solely based on the belief that the criminal thinks he's unarmed. So this means it is automatically in play in any defensive encounter. Isn't a gun always in play, whether it's concealed or open? But I'll tell you what, I would rather not have to worry about a defensive encounter because I'm not messed with in the first place than have to worry about it. But yes, my gun's always in play, whether I'm open carrying or concealed carrying. If you attack me, I'm going to be doing that risk-benefit analysis. Do I want to fight this guy hands-on because I don't need to use lethal force, or do I think my life is in danger and I should use lethal force? My gun is always in play, always, automatically. 24 hours a day, my gun is in play, whether I'm open carrying or not. So for this guy's well-trained too, supposedly. He's supposedly well-trained, but he's trying to tell us here that it's not automatic. Your gun is not automatically in play in a defensive encounter. I'm sorry, Dan, but whether you're concealed carrying or you're open carrying or you're not carrying, your gun or a gun is going to come into play in a defensive encounter. It's just the way it is. Here's the thing. Then he says, not something you can choose to reveal based on a situation at hand. Look, if you're concealed carrying, and again, I don't care if you conceal or open carry. That's not the point of this video. But if the bad guy thinks you're armed or doesn't think you're armed because you've got a concealed handgun somewhere on your body and he targets you, you're already on the defensive. You're already on the defensive. Guess who's got the upper hand right now? The bad guy, the guy that's targeting you. Because now not only do you have to deal with that threat that is on you, but you've got to get to your firearm. Those are precious seconds or nanoseconds or whatever when you've already got a guy. If a guy's going to rob you at gunpoint, he's already got a gun on you. And you've got to get to your concealed handgun. So now you're on the defensive. And can you get to that firearm? Because if you make a move for your belt or your backside, or you look at a lot of these videos of people concealed carrying, and a lot of the good videos, these guys they have the opportunity to kind of move out of view. And they do that because if you look, while the gunman is focused on the concealed carrier, he can't do anything because any movement's going to get him shot. That's just the way that the criminal mindset works. With the gun openly displayed, you're now someone who can be dealt with quickly instead of waiting for the moment to counterattack. No, you can be a criminal doesn't. Again, you got to put your mind or yourself into the mindset of the criminal. The criminal wants to get everything he can with the least amount of risk as possible because he wants to live to rob again. He wants to live to burgle again. He wants to live to carjack again. And the overwhelming majority of criminals are going to avoid someone that they know is armed. There's Kleck has there was a study that was done of prisoners, and overwhelming 79% of felons who used a firearm in the commission of their crime said, or I'm sorry, it's Rossi and Wright. It was a study by doctors Rossi and Wright, said that they seek to determine first whether or not their victim is armed before they commit that crime. The majority of the time, and that's because they don't want to engage someone who is armed because of that risk that they're going to have to take. A guy doesn't want to be able to just rob someone once and get shot and die. Okay, they're looking for the weak victim. They prey on the weak. The reason that police officers get attacked, and it's not very, there are over 1 million police officers in the United States, like 900,000 to 1 million police officers in the United States. And there are about 40 of them that are feloniously shot. 40 out of 1 million. And they have dangerous jobs in which they are engaging with criminals. So you would think they'd get shot more often if criminals didn't care about the fact that they had guns, right? But they do. The whole logic behind this thing doesn't matter. But Rossi and Wright, there's your source, Dan, did this study with felons that found that these guys want to know first, before they even engage in their attack, whether or not their victim is armed. And if they see that they're armed, 79% of the time, they're going to walk away. Now and that's just those that seek to determine that. All right. I know before someone says it, I know you're talking out of your ass when you say nobody would ever get the drop on you or blah, 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 blah. And then he goes to you and your Meal Team 6 ninja friends. This is a butter of all butters. All right, don't forget the potential for here. And here's the part. Don't forget the potential for Karens and legitimately concerned citizens calling 911 with reports of a man with a gun. Oh my gosh, we can't exercise our rights because a Karen might call the police. Don't let them see your gun. This is what he's telling you. He's telling you to be a coward, to be a pussy, because you can't show your gun because someone might get offended by it. Oh, boo-hoo. Suck it up, Karen. That's the Patriots' view of things. You don't restrict your rights or not exercise your rights because someone's going to get offended by you exercising your rights. That's about the most butter of an excuse possible. And maybe the reason that these Karens and concerned citizens are calling 911 about a man with a gun is because people like you, Dan, are telling people to hide them from public so that the public is not indoctrinated to seeing guns in public. So that when they see a gun in public, it's something that's out of the ordinary. And they're like, oh, crap, something must be going on. So how about we fix that, Dan? How about we fix that by exposing the public to people with firearms so that they stop calling 911? It was because of Open Carry Texas that the 911 call centers actually started getting training to ask follow-up questions when someone called and said, there's a man with a gun. Okay, well, what's he doing with it? Well, he's just walking. Where's the gun? It's in a holster or it's on his back. Okay, well, we'll send out an officer to look at it, but he's not breaking the law. And guess what? The number of 911 calls dropped dramatically here in Temple. 2013, someone called the police because I was open carrying. I was open carrying a rifle, Dan. Oh my gosh. With my son on a hike. And you know what? Emmanuel has a great point in the chat. And I don't know if you can see this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put this is exactly what I'm talking about. Gays didn't normalize being gay by hiding it. They didn't get people over the stigma of being gay by trying to stay in a closet. They came out of the closet and started exposing people and recognizing that, oh, hey, gay people are just like us. They just have different sexual beliefs and preferences. Oh, gun people are just like us. They just choose to carry a gun in self-defense, and I choose to call the police. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. Now, is Dan suggesting that gay people should go back in the closet because people are offended by seeing gay people? It's the same logic. It's the same logic there. That's certainly not the position I want to find myself in, especially in light of recent mass casualty events. So see, now here's the other thing. Dan's got the wrong attitude about liberty. He's got the complete wrong attitude because, like the left, he wants to use these mass casualty events to restrict how you exercise your rights. Like the left, he's telling you that, hey, look, man, people are killing other people, so we shouldn't be exercising our rights because, you know, there's concern. Whereas a true patriot, and I'm not saying I'm a true patriot, but this is what I say, when you've got these mass casualty events, maybe we need to see more guns in the hands of law-abiding citizens. Maybe if we saw more guns in the hands of people who are not shooting people, that the public would start feeling safer. Why? Because if you go to a place where everybody is armed, do you think anybody's going to go in there and shoot the place up when everybody there is visibly armed? No, they're not. But Dan here thinks that because there are shootings that, oh, maybe we shouldn't carry in a movie theater because someone shot up a movie theater. Maybe we shouldn't carry in a grocery store because someone shot up a grocery store. Maybe we shouldn't carry in a school because someone shot up a school. Maybe, Dan, that's exactly where we need to be carrying if that's where people are getting shot. By the way, Dan, aren't those all gun-free zones that you're talking about where these shootings are taking place? How well did that work for you? It didn't work at all, did it? Do you know what to do if someone were to call you in for a crime you didn't commit? Do you, Dan? I do. You stand up for yourself. You don't say, oh, you're right. I'm right. I'm wrong. I should have known that there are bad people in the world and that my actions need to be changed because of someone else's bad acts. You're right, officer. I'm wrong. I'm the bad guy here. Anyway, this is stupid. Doesn't really say anything. So here's some parting thoughts. This is where I'm gonna get into stuff. I agree. Go get good training. Everyone should be trained on their gun. You should train often. You should know how to use it. Like I said, I just bought a Hellcat as my new backup gun. Guess what? I didn't start carrying it as my backup gun until I fired it a few times, until I was comfortable with it, until I understood exactly how the mechanics work and how I would need to use it if I were to use it for a backup gun. So yes, that's very important. See, this is what Dan misses. His parting thoughts on open carry here, where he says, these are my parting thoughts on open carry. This should have been his entire article. He could have made an entire article based on getting good training, reading quality resources, buying good equipment, whatever that means. But guess what, Dan? Not everybody can buy good equipment, whatever that is. Not everybody can do that, but everybody has a right to defend themselves. Everybody has a right to carry in self-defense. And if they can't carry, the expensive equipment that apparently Dan is able to afford, then they should at least be aware of what they're carrying and understand the limitations of the equipment that they're carrying. But Dan doesn't ask that question. Here's where he starts name dropping. He talks about this, Gary Elfritt's article where he puts it's a piece. It's an awesome piece, by the way, because why? Because it's also attacking open carry like I'm attacking open carry. And it provides 60 recent examples of open carriers losing their guns or being killed due to open carrying, okay? Now, he's got a link here. You can go read the link about some of the different incidents of open carry. But let me tell you something. And I'm not going to go and find 60 recent examples of the exact opposite of concealed carries. Because you know what? It happens. If you carry a gun, you are at risk of losing that gun in a situation. if you're a concealed carrier and someone's going to rob you and someone just walks up and shoots you in the head and then decides to go through your pockets and they find that concealed handgun, they're going to find that concealed handgun. I found, just in a very quick search, 3 examples. Oh, this one's on Ammoland too, and I love Dean. Dean's a good friend of mine. Dean White. I love his stories. But here's a case of a concealed carrier having his gun stolen. I'm not going to go through all of these, okay? I'm just going to show you that it's not just open carriers who have their guns stolen. Here's another one. This one's on concealednation.org. Has his gun stolen during a robbery. This was a concealed handgun. South Carolina. A man has his gun stolen because they rob him at gunpoint. Guess what happens? They rob this guy at gunpoint, and they're searching him, searching his pockets. He's got his hands up. He's got a concealed handgun in his pocket, and they take it from him. I guess that didn't give him the element of, where's that element of surprise there for you, Dan? So the point is, and there's some sources for you. I just gave you 3. I'm not going to go through and find you 60 because, first of all, the media and the left love to attack open carriers because they don't want guns seen in public. The left doesn't want us to normalize the presence of guns in society. So why does the media highlight when an open carrier is targeted? Because they want to attack open carrier, just like open carry, just like Dan is here. They want open carry to be banned so that they can hide the fact that Americans are armed. If everyone was required, if every gun owner that carries a gun was required to open carry, let's say concealed carry everywhere was banned, and so open carry was the only way to carry, and this is historical, so I mean, it'd be a mindset. Society would be forced to see, oh my gosh, there are a lot of armed people in society. Maybe guns aren't the problem. And that's why the left doesn't want you to open carry. And that's why Dan is able to find 60 sources about open carry and why you really have to do. Now, I just did a quick, literally, but before I did this video, I took 5 minutes, literally 5 minutes, and I only went through maybe the first 2 or 3 pages on a Google search to find 3 stories that I found. That I just shared to you. And you can go back in the video and find the links yourself. I don't really care because I'm not going to attack concealed carriers. Okay, it happens. You're going to get targeted if you're a concealed carrier. You're going to get targeted if you're an open carrier. There are criminals who don't care either way. There are criminals who don't care you're open carrying, although they're much fewer, because you really got to have some balls to target someone that you know is armed. Now, it doesn't take as much balls to target someone who you don't think is armed but is armed. But it takes balls to target an open carrier. So the open carriers are not as targeted. But the reason you find these stories is because the media is attacking open carry, because open carry completely destroys their narrative. It destroys their narrative that there's a such thing as good guys without guns. So there, I gave them some links. If you do decide to open carry, do it at level 2 or level 3 retention holster. Okay, that's good advice. Absolutely. But you don't always have to have a level 2 or 3 holster. Just know that the lower your retention level of your holster, whether you're open carrying or concealed carrying, the lower level of retention that you have in your holster, the higher level of awareness of your surroundings you need. Okay? So it's just that simple. You don't have to carry a retention holster at all. Just make sure that I've got a We the People holster that I love because it's got the Texas flag on it. I love it, but it's got no retention whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I think if I had to get into a sprint while using that holster, the gun would probably fall out. I don't wear that all the time. So I wear it sometimes when I'm in a certain type of environment that I know I'm not going to have to worry about retention on my gun. But also when I do carry that holster, and there are We the People holsters that have great retention. So I'm not even getting on to We the People. It's just this particular holster that I bought was not a retention holster. I didn't buy it for retention properties. I bought it because I wanted a nice looking Texas flag holster that I could carry my gun in certain situations. And I just know that when I am carrying that holster, I am much more aware of my surroundings and much more protective of my firearm than I am if I'm using a retention level 2 or 3 or higher holster. And then of course, here's some other. I don't know what this service grade pistol crap is. I don't know what he's talking about. Not everybody can. I don't even know what a service grade pistol is. Okay, in the Army we had a Beretta 9 mil. Now they've got the Sig Sauer P320, I think. Um, what's a service grade pistol? Look, just carry a pistol that works and that's accurate and that you've trained with. It doesn't matter what kind of pistol you've got. And you know what? If your pistol's a high point, carry a high point. Good luck finding a good holster for it. And good luck with the weight of the high points. But look, I have high points. I have several high points for several reasons. One, I have guns strategically placed in different places on my property so that I'm never caught off guard. And the way to buy a lot of guns to be able to do that is with a high point. High points have some of the best. Actually, I think it has the best warranty in the entire business. The High Point has the best warranty in the entire business. I've never had a problem with High Point. I think Demolition Ranch did a video where they plugged up a High Point barrel to try and get the thing to malfunction. And they went so far as to put cement in the barrel, and that High Point kicked ass. I think they used the Yeet special or something like that. But it's an ugly ass gun, and it's heavy, and it's just burdensome. But even a High Point is not a bad gun, and if that's all you can afford, then by all means carry a damn High Point. And if anything ever happens to it, just know that High Point will replace it and fix it for you. All right, that's it. So then we get down here. Of course, Dan's an Air Force veteran. So what? He's an avid shooter. So what? Oh, he's a dog dad. Okay, never mind. He's got me. I didn't realize he was a dog dad. So being a dog dad, he knows a lot better than I do about all that kind of stuff. And he holds a bunch of sort of blah 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 blah. Look at me, I'm this guy. I've trained with all these people. I'm gonna name drop. Look, I've got 400 hours of professional instruction. Oh, look, I can afford to just keep going to training. So I'm smarter than you, or I'm better than you, and therefore you should listen to my opinion. Now, a lot of people didn't. There you go. A lot of people didn't quite like his attitude. If you go to the comments down here, there's very few people that are supporting him and this just idiotic piece that he wrote. And now that I've completely destroyed it with some truth, I feel a lot better. Here's the bottom line. Open carry is not better than concealed carry, and concealed carry is not better than open carry. There are times when open carry is a much better method than concealed carry. There are times when concealed carry is a much better method than open carry. When I go to the Comic-Con or I go to some crowded event, I generally will conceal carry, or if I don't carry a high retention holster, but I usually don't carry a high retention holster because they're bulky. But I will generally conceal carry because I can't help who's bumping up against me. I can't control all the contact I'm having with other people, and therefore I want to maintain better control of my firearm. So I will conceal carry for that purpose only, and usually in those circumstances. There are times where when I'm open carrying, it's a much better opportunity for me because, again, why am I open carrying? It gives me quicker access to my firearm, even if that's just a half a second. I don't care. It gives me quicker access to my firearm, but it allows me to make a point that we need to stop blaming guns like Dan is doing and start blaming the people who are using guns in a bad way. Dan missed a perfect opportunity here to do the right thing by not attacking gun owners based on their preferences. He had a perfect opportunity to make a good point about training, about retention, about awareness, but instead he wanted to attack gun owners. And he did it right from the get-go. Right from the get-go. With this picture right here. Did it right from the... This is a Photoshop, ladies and gentlemen. He couldn't even find a real photo. He had to Photoshop a picture of a guy in front of Applebee's to try and make an open carrier patriot, law-abiding citizen look like a dumbass. He had to invent this. He had to invent this out of whole cloth. And that was his agenda, to attack open carriers. And it's my agenda to call him out on it. And, hey, look, I appreciate Ammoland for giving him a place to expose his ignorance and expose his self-righteous attitude. Good for Ammoland. It shows that all gun owners have a voice, even those that don't 100% support the right to carry. They only support the right to carry how I think you should carry, under the circumstances that I think you should carry under, and under the training that I have, and with the equipment that I use, and with the guns that I find acceptable. Even those gun owners should have a voice on Ammoland, and I'm glad they gave him that voice. All right, really quick, let me go through the questions here. Sorry I didn't SCCY, I have, so he talks about, I think he talked about an SDCY in here. Let me find this. Let me go back. Whoops. Let me bring this back here, because if I'm not mistaken, SCCY, I want to say, oh yeah, this is from Dan also. So there's a link to the text to explain why essentially they malfunction at a higher rate than other pistols. Now he's talking about XDS is a bad gun. Why? And I said, because the author's a self-righteous douchebag who thinks his taste is superior to others. I don't think they malfunction at a higher rate than other pistols. I've never had a malfunction. I've never had any problems. Springfield Armory, I've got a Springfield Armory 1911. Oh no, I'm sorry, I've got a Rock Island. That's not a Springfield Armory. But I've got a Springfield Armory AR-15. I've got 3 different XDs. I got an XDM, XDS, Hellcat, 4, and an XD40. But while they're certainly better than something from High Point or SCCY, I love my SCCY. That little 9mm. As a matter of fact, when my daughter got married, and I wanted to make sure that my son-in-law could protect his family, I bought him an SCCY because that is a great 9mm pistol. I've never had a problem with that. Who was it? There was somebody here that said something about SCCY in the comments. Yeah, it has a lifetime warranty. It's a good gun for the wife. It's a good starter gun for my son-in-law too. And I've had over the years, I've had several. And the only reason I don't have even more SCCYs is because when my family is looking, when they get married, and I'm going to gift a gun for the family so that he can protect, or she can protect her family. I think an SCCY is a great starter pistol. It's accurate. It works. I've never had any issues with mine. I love it. So once again, this is just about, they're not to level what typically, I don't even know what the hell is a duty grade pistol. Can somebody in the comments tell me what a duty grade pistol is? This Air Force veteran seems to have some idea of duty grade pistols. I don't know. Anyway, so there's that. I just saw that comment in the chat about SCCY. I love my SCCYs. I've bought several over the years. I only have one right now because I keep giving them away. And I don't give them away because they suck. Because why would I give a crappy gun to my son-in-law to protect my daughter? No, I want my daughter protected. I gave him a decent gun that is a good gun for somebody who hasn't owned one before. And he can go and get training with it. It's not huge. It's easy to conceal. Training, there's hillbillies that probably outshoot him. Agreed. Let's see. Rush Limbaugh. I see some. I've said this before. I'll say it again. CJ is the Rush Limbaugh of the Second Amendment text. Hey, thanks, Dallas Citizen Watch. I appreciate that. Dwayne, I'm a 65-year-old cancer survivor. My gun is always in play. 100%. If you carry a gun, it better be in play. Why carry a gun if it's not going to be in play? This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This is one of the worst articles written on Ammoland, and I was very upset to see it there. But Now, see, you know, there are no mass shootings in gun ranges. I mean, there have been suicides and there have been, you know, quick shootings. And then, you know, my buddy Chris Tillman, or, you know, he died at a gun range, was shot by a guy with PTSD, not Tillman. You know who I'm talking about, Chris. What the hell is his last name? I mean, it does happen. Nowhere is safe. But, you know, there was a story recently about a guy tried to rob a gun store. He ended up with like 40 bullet holes in him because he tried to rob a gun store. Yeah, I didn't see the SCCY demolition ranch. Anyway, all right, we're at an hour. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. I think I got to everybody. Look, Dan, you have an opportunity to rehabilitate yourself and stop being so self-righteous here. Stop attacking people because of how they look. Stop attacking people because of how they carry. Stop attacking people because they don't carry what you like. Stop attacking people because they don't. Chris Kyle, thank you. I worked with Chris for a long time. Pat Tillman, yeah, I was thinking Chris Kyle and Pat Tillman, and I did Chris Tillman. Chris Kyle, thank you. Chris was a good friend of mine, and it really hurt. Okay, I don't want to overinflate it. He's not a good friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. We worked together on PTSD issues many years back. And you know, he died on a range. So does it happen? Yes, it happens, but it's rare. Why? Why is it rare? It's rare because, and by the way, how many people open carry every day? And he found 60 stories. And again, if the media reported concealed carriers whose guns were stolen as much as they did open carriers, we'd probably be easier to find. I could compile a list, a guaranteed of 60 if I wanted to. And hey, if anybody out there wants to compile a list and send it to me, I'll publish it. I just don't really care enough about, because I'm not going to attack concealed carriers either. I know that it happens. I know that concealed carriers have their guns stolen. I know that open carriers have their guns stolen. I know that concealed carriers are targeted because the threat thinks that they're unarmed. And I know that open carriers are targeted because they think they can get that gun. Okay, it happens. That's not a reason to attack it. So, all right, guys, thank you all very much. Take care. Be safe. Be free. And you know, here's the thing. When I read this, there's one thing that comes to mind. I'm going to leave you with this. There's one thing that comes to mind when I read Dan's story, and I went to look up, and I found some video of Dan. This is Dan speaking from the legislature. So
that 21-year-old pimp, that 21-year-old trafficker who is not yet a convicted felon, roll on into any place you want and buy a gun under this provision and walk around in whatever way you want. No training, no understanding, Wild West pimp style. That's what this bill does. And then that pimp can roll into whatever small businesses in your community with their stable of girls, and they can flaunt it. Wild West pimp style.
Yeah, that was Dan Reedy speaking before the Texas legislature against open carry and constitutional carry. I thought you'd like that, guys. Take care. Be safe. Be free. I'm out.